For the first round of the championship season here today in Brands Hatch, the British E-Prix is starting in but a few minutes. We're just waiting for 1, the server to start up, and 2, the qualifying to officially take place here today. Now, I have downloaded something that should hopefully show a leaderboard, but I'm not quite sure how that works at the very current moment in time, but I'm sure we'll be able to find out how that works eventually as we watch Bartek coming to grief against a wall at the start of the live stream to get the first official on-track crash of the season shown on stream. How lovely is that for him? Great achievement for the Polish driver there. Already, we're just doing a small practice session so everyone can acclimatise, get used to the cars and the track. As we watch Bartek with a big off. Great driver to watch here in this moment in time. So, yeah, oh, that was Hayden Lowe, sorry. That was Mr. Lowe. Here we watch Bartek fighting with, I believe we have Mr. Thomas here fighting each other on the track here in Brands Hatch. I'm going to say that a lot because there's nothing much going on track. Let's just be quiet for a second, let everything die down, let everyone do whatever. Bartek is actually on what I believe a small push lap here, so we'll be able to see where he comes up. He's gone green in the last 2 sector, so Bartek goes across, stays where he is. Titan Shadow's now joined as Bartek loses the rear into turn 1. Hopefully he doesn't do that in the race, because that could be something very bad. Hoping this fixes it. No, it didn't. Amazing. Here we watch Chicken as he spins through turn 1. So everyone having troubles with paddock hill bend here today. Hopefully this won't be too much of an issue at the start of the main event. Anyway, we watch Chicken as he comes up into the Grand Prix loop. Formerly used for Formula 1 back in the old days, back in the 60s, 70s, even into the 80s they were still using the circuit for that. Great bit of history there. Circuit steeped in British heritage, loved by many, hated by few. Although the ones that hate it just don't like the track to drive, so... Again, practice, nothing really much to say, so we'll just let it chill, do it be. Do it be. I believe that's Bartek behind, but we do have 5 individuals currently on the track with a 6. Surely coming their way soon. Deliveries also we can ignore for round 1, as that is Titan Shadow, who's rolled the car. He's managed to roll the car onto the circuit. He's going to try and get it back going again. Valiant effort if he's able to. That was an absolutely monumentous moment there, and I'm fully aware those in the Discord have just had a mic change. Please don't ping me in that channel because it will cause this. Plus, I already posted it. Anyway. We just wait for everyone to come out onto the track again for the qualifying session. I believe we'll have a 2-minute pause, and then we will say green flag for that. As we can see, a very wobbly cameraman. He's obviously had a few. Just taking a moment. Anyway, the session should be live now, so we should be going into qualifying. The one man not going out on track. It's at a moment. I'm reading this. Okay, so there will be a session reset quickly due to an issue, so that will be amazing on my side, so that way I can turn it on. There's a setting I need to turn on so you guys get a lovely bit of this while I try to figure out how the hell I turn that mod on. Someone told me there was a mod I needed to turn on, but how or why they didn't tell me. I would assume we can rejoin now. That is again discretion of. There we go. That's what I did. There we go. Right. There we go. So we should be good to join now, and I should have all the lovely, lovely menus on the screen. Right, we shall commence forth into the server. So I'm now able to join, so everyone can. Yep, everyone should be able to join the server, and I'm sure by the time we join in, then we can green flag for the qualifying. I'm not too sure. Your guesses are as good as mine, dear viewer at home. Okay, so I've activated it, but nothing has happened. Back to the settings we go. How lovely. This is also very joyful. Do bear with us, this is first stream shenanigans, as you all should be aware about. It always happens. Right, we should be good to join now. Should take mere seconds of me setting it up in game, so again, do bear with. This is as much time as your time to my time and everyone's time. I'm just talking out my ass at the moment, but it's all in a good cause. I'm speaking absolute waz, that means absolutely nothing to anyone while I get this all set up. And I'm sure everyone is very happy about it. despite the fact none of us are getting paid to do anything. Right, should be one of these settings here now. Okay, it's not here. Okay. Right. Reload. Give me PUN N. We love pre-race shenanigans. Ay, this is absolutely amazing. I cannot find the thing I'm looking for. Something tells me it is a setting, I'm just not looking at it properly. Right, we're still just working out these technical issues for those watching on YouTube at the current moment. We are trying our best. We are aware of these technical problems. Technical issues take time.
Okay, sorry to intrude. I have figured out a potential issue regarding the server and why it doesn't go to qualifying.
Right, the stream can now get back underway after we fix those issues. Sorry that took so long. We're sorry it's taken 25 minutes already and we've missed parts of qualifying. It's fine. Assetto, of course, as being a bit of a fritzy game, and it's making us all very, very annoyed up in the commentary booth. Right, here we can see the entire field is now lined up, ready to go. And I do believe in a mere moment, when the clock hits 28, you should be able to go green flag for the race start. The race start? The qualifying start. Anyway. First man out of the pit lane, I believe, is Mr. Thomas V. AKA Aspect, who's currently in the Jaguar colours, but that the colours are retrospective until we get the actual liveries put in for the drivers, as per their request. There aren't exactly teams per se, but there are, you know, we're letting them enjoy themselves a bit. He's the first man out to set a lap. They are allowed unlimited push to pass. They're limited to 3. They would need to rejoin if they were to try and pick up a new set. We're here for half an hour of qualifying. But here we ride on board with the Briton as we switch to an off-board shot here. Riding on board now a proper way as we go through the Grand Prix loop of the circuit. Beautiful, beautiful bit of British history here in the first round of the season. As I'm trying to get just the corner names correct, do bear with me, please. He comes through clearways into the Clark curve to start his qualifying lap. I do believe he is miles ahead of everyone else. So he will go through onto the Brabham Straight into Paddock Hill Bend, turn 1 of the circuit, one of the fastest corners on the track, if not the fastest. Then he's going to go through Paddock Hill Bend as we ride on board, looking forward into Pilgrim's Rise, into Druid's Hairpin, one of the most feared corners in this entire league. And I believe Gaggles has stopped in the final corner after a moment there. Not too sure what's happened, but we'll sure be getting there soon. Through Graham Hill Bend, onto the Cooper's Straight, into the Surtees Corner, as we ride into the Grand Prix Loop. We enter Pilgrim's Drop here, one of the fastest parts on the track that isn't a corner. So we're going to ride down the hill and then back up into the Hawthorne Bend, an aggressive 90-degree corner that progressively gains harder and harder into the Derrick Straight. I'm not going to pronounce the full name because I will butcher it. Westfield Bend here into Dingle Dell, my favourite corner name on the circuit, into Sheens. As there's a bit of traffic in the way, they'll get fully out the way for him. Into Sterling's and then back into Clearways before the Clark curve to end this initial qualifying lap, which would surely put him onto the pole here in Brands Hatch to start. He's the first man to set a lap, and he's going to be the first man to set a 1:18, a very nice lap time to start the day with. Here we've got Titan Shadow, but the man I want to look at is either Chicken or Bartek. Bartek is going to be the next across the line. Chicken has just started his push lap, so Bartek is the next across the line. 8 seconds behind. So the next man, I believe, who will be taking the flag would be Titan Shadow, who is heading towards Westfield Bend into Dingledell, this weird double right section, as I think he has abandoned his push lap. So that's a shame for him, as Max Gagley crosses the line to go P2, 3 seconds off. Bartek is improving in the first sector here. I'm sure he'll be able to set something stellar on the timing sheets towards the end of the lap. We catch Chicken going through Hawthorne Bend, the uphill blind fast right-hand corner. In towards Dingledell we go. He's got 2 mini purple sectors. Same with Gaggles in the first sector. Through the very tricky Sheen's corner. Into Sterling's. Onto the clearway straight. Hopefully the clear air in front of him should give him a very nice positioning to come across the line here. We enter the 23.5 minute mark very shortly, but he comes across the line. What is he able to do on his first push lap? Chicken moves to second. 1.1 off the pace. Bartek is coming to the line now. I do believe he's had to abandon his push here as we catch Gagley in the gravel. We catch him respawning to the pit lane. I believe he suffered a silly little spin there as Bartek crosses the line. Doesn't really improve his lap time. But we do have, I believe, Titan Shadow now trying to set the timing sheets ablaze. I don't believe he's fully backed off of it yet. But as he goes through Dingledale into Sheens. And he's off! Big way into Sheens. The second off of qualifying that we've seen. It's a big moment through the fast corner. And I would not be surprised if he resets to the pit lane. Which he does. Straight back out onto the track is what you like to see. Hayden Lowe is now taking to the track. He's not setting the timing sheets ablaze as he loses it into the Graham Hill bend. He'll need to get out of the way, hoping he doesn't impede anyone here. But at the moment, the man who appears to be taking the pole in a dominant wave of force is Mr. Aspect. Thomas, the man of the moment. It looks like he will be able to take the pole from everyone else here today. That is if anyone is able to, gain an advantage, gain anything on him. He's going very decently through the middle sector. Into the final sector, Bartek is ahead of him. He should be able to keep out of the way. But he's backed off. He knows what's coming. He's trying to wait for a very good time. That could have been a very minuscule improvement on his overall lap, as Bartek's now within 5 seconds of the race possible pole sitter, as we catch him spin into Paddock Hill Bend. Not what you want to be seeing here today if you are one of the Polish drivers or a fan here for Bartek. Huge shame for him. He went purple in the first mini sector of the lap. That could have been a very decent first sector. As we just watch his beautiful, in quotes beautiful, car make its way around the lap, and I believe Titan Shadow is coming through the final corner of the lap here, through the Clark corner to the line. He is going to improve his lap time no matter what here. Chicken has disconnected, he should be back, but Titan Shadow doesn't appear to be improving his overall lap time. So unless that was an outlap, I think that was a tactical thing there by Chicken to try and get some push to pass back. Is allowed, not ruled it out yet, so can't really fault the man for trying. Man currently in second is going to try and use more push to pass when he can. Of course, you're only allowed 3 in each session of the race. In each race, I should say, not in every session of the race. That was me just fumbling my words ever so slightly. Anyway, we see him here now trying to set a lap here in Brands Hatch. The first ever race here, the opening race of the season, the British E-Prix, instead of it being hosted inside a building, which is a bit weird. Through Dinglebell is what I meant. Through Sheehan's and into Sterling. Hayden Lowe is disconnected. He has been strung with a lot of connection issues with the server recently, so he could be an in-out of this event. Through the Clark curve onto the main straight we go. This should be a better lap. I didn't see him invalidate, and he does. He goes 0.3 slower than Gaggles into P4. I would be very happy with that lap time, to be honest with you. Anyway, as you all should know now, the official point system is 20 points for the race winner, 17 points for P2, 14 for P3, 12 for P10, 12 for P10, what? 14 for P3, 12 as we watch Titan Shadow slam into the barriers. Now watch Bartek here. So 12 points for P4, 10 for P5, 8 for P6, 6 for P7, 4 for P8, 2 for P9 and 1 for P10, 1 point for the fastest lap, and a coveted 3 points for pole position. Anyway, we see Bartek here just about being impeded by Hayden Lowe, and it causes him to lose it in the exact same place as before through Paddock Hill Bend. That is not what you want to see from the temporary duos being given out this event. You don't want to see people rejoining dangerously. And Hayden Lowe has spun through Druids. He's on the inside of the corner, so he's out of the way of Bartek, who's gone past. I'm sure Bartek's pointed up at the sky to that one, but not with the right finger. Let's just hope there are no foul words being spoken after the event, as we catch a moment from Max Gagley. I think that was just a bit of understeer, trying to get past the car ahead. I think he was just trying to get some space before he started a push lap. As Titan Shadow has disconnected, I think people will be disconnecting and rejoining to try and gain the advantage of having more push to pass than everyone else. Because after all, that is one of the best games to have in this in this racing event. We're going to watch Gagley here as he starts his most recent push lap. Chicken has got within 8/10 of a second of that pole time. So could we possibly see Chicken having a really good time at this track? He said he's not the most experienced with these cars. He's not a fan of them, so he's not expecting to do too well. But on a one-lap pace, he's doing brilliantly. Then again, a lot of these drivers are actually quite nailing the track. They're not all, a million miles apart like I expected them to be. I expected some people to be well over 8-9 seconds off the pace. So the fact that everyone is within just over 5 seconds is actually quite impressive for an untested first group of people. Here we watch Gagley, though. He's into the middle sector here, down the very fast Pilgrim's Drop. One of the fastest part of the circuit is this corner here, Hawthorne's Bend. It's a very tricky corner. If you get it wrong, you tend to go flying off onto the barriers on the outside of the track. Anyway, through Dinglebell and into Sheen's corner before Sterling here. The Sterling is the the left-hand corner before you join on to Clearways before the final Clark curve. I think one of the greatest corners, or the greatest sections in racing, is through Clark Curve, into Druids, and through into Surtees. Anyway, Gaggles across the line. Can he make any meaningful improvements? Not this lap. And someone comes out the pit lane, and he loses it into turn one. He's just grazed the barrier there. I don't know who that was. I think that was Titan. No, it's our pole sitter, Thomas. Thomas, Mr. Aspect, has just caused a fellow competitor to bump the barrier quite hard in turn one. All fun and games, I assume, and until we get to the actual race. Here's Chicken. Captain Chicken is his full name, as he'd like to be called. I assume he'd like to be called that, as that's what the CPT means. As we watch Hayden Lowe run massively wide off the track. I don't think that was affected by dirty air. I just think that was a bit of unjust luck for him, just losing the rear through that corner. As we've seen a lot of drivers losing their lap times through that corner, it's a very difficult one to get right. I believe Titan Shadow's improved in the first sector on this lap. I don't actually think he's on a push, but it's fine. We're halfway done with this qualifying session. The next 15 minutes should hopefully be something a bit more entertaining than what we've already had. And I really do hope that fact, because so far this has been a very decent, very tame session from everyone here so far in this lovely late evening qualifying session. But awaits a 33 lap race awaits us, where full course cautions can happen. If a car goes off in such a way where it causes issues, it can eventually lead to a full course caution. So if that were to happen, then who knows what could go wrong there. Anyway, we're watching here Bartek may be just improving his lap time. I'm not too sure. It could be close. But Hayden Lowe, again, through this section, slows right down. I believe it will be within bounds this time, so he should be able to get a valid lap out of it, unless he makes a mistake through one of the last few corners on the track here. I believe he should just be fine and dandy to get a lap on the board finally. As I've been trying not to talk on this so it doesn't distract him. So I hope this gets the time on the board for him, which it does. He's just behind Bartek. His race pace is a lot faster than this, I can tell you that. I've seen him in most other games. It is pretty good. He may have connection issues which are causing issues as he spins into Drids, just tags the barrier. And I tell you, if there is an issue like that in the race, then that will be an immediate full course caution. Because an incident like that is no fun. Anyway, we're watching Bartek here. No greens at all on this push lap for him. I assume it's a push lap. But he's not exactly lighting the timing boards ablaze. He's finally gone a personal best mini sector there. Going through Dumblebell. But I think he's finally improved some time here, unless he throws it away in this final part of the lap. Really not that hard. The final corner really is the hardest part on this entire final sector, but at that it's only bad if you mess up the line a bit like Bartek almost showed us there. If you run a bit too wide, get a bit too greedy on the exit, you can just run off. He does make an improvement. No, he didn't. I was looking at the wrong person, unfortunately, there. I thought Bartek just improved by a few tenths of a second. Unfortunately, he didn't, but I'm sure he's going to try push again. He's showing signs of improvement there. That may have been out of bounds. If it was, and that is a bit of a shame, and that is definitely out of bounds. I don't need an investigator's eye to tell me that much. I can tell immediately that one was out of bounds. We're going to ride on board with the Polish driver here. We've got a Polish, a Dutch, quite a few Brits here as well. So, very diverse field here today. We're going to ride on board with Bartek through the fast right-hander, and he almost understeers fully off the track. That could have been a very sizable moment for the pole. Not on pole. Oh dear. We go back on board with Bartek. He made small little gains, small little improvements overall on this lap, but nothing to really set the timing sheets ablaze, which is a bit of a shame for him, but I'm sure he won't mind too much. We're getting very cinematic cameras now as we see Bartek coming through Paddock Hill Bend. What a lovely shot that was. Really lets you grasp how much elevation there is on this track. After all, I have been here in person. Bartek understeers off greatly. That's not going to help him at all. Careful as you rejoin, please, Bartek. We don't want any stupid moments happening, do we? We watch back on Titan Shadow, slowly approaching him. I'm sure the start of this race is going to be jam-packed with how relatively close the field is. He's a proper on board of Bartek. Titan Shadow just behind. We're in fact going to switch to the reverse camera here. And he is overtaken around the outside by Titan Shadow. If we get moves like that in the race, it will be a very thrilling event. Very thrilling indeed. I would pay to see a race with overtakes around the outside of that corner. Rarely happen as is, so if they were to, then I, my goodness, would enjoy a race like that. Here's Bartek anyway, going around the final corner here, hopefully to try and make an improvement. He's going to have the slipstream from Titan Shadow here to hopefully make an improvement. As Titan Shadow improves by a few hundredths, as Titan Shadow goes off and hits Bartek. The first car-to-car collision of the season has happened in front of us. Titan Shadow collides with Bartek into turn one. What an unfortunate moment for the both of them, and I think that's cost them both dearly on their attempts. Hayden Lowe has also gone off in the first corner as we watch Gaggles sideways through that part of the track there, through Paddock Hill. But we're going to watch Chicken here, a man who I think that was Gaggles at least. It may have been someone else. As Chicken understeers off the track. Everyone is starting to make mistakes as we're into the last 9 minutes of the session. They're all trying to gain a bit more than each other. They're all trying to push for that minute advantage they can try and get with track position. Gaggles here, I believe, is on a hot lap, and the car ahead of him has come out the pit lane, if I'm not mistaken. So we could see some blue flags come into play eventually, but it will be to the driver's discretion here whether or not they want to move out of the way. We're not going to force them, but if there is something dodgy going on, we may have to give a penalty to them for it. So we've got 3 drivers in a conga line here. I'd recommend one of you guys maybe back out of it, slow down, give yourself a space, because Bartek's now involved in this kerfuffle. So we do have that pleasure of having more than 2 drivers here today. So there is that. The track map doesn't work. I thought it would. That's a shame. I really wanted to have the track map up, but hey ho. Anyway, Gaggles goes through Paddock Hill Bend here into Druids. He's just trying to push his way around the track, trying to use all 350 kilowatts of power available to him at the moment. You see a bit of lag for him there, and he drifts it round that corner on our side. I think that was just out of bounds on the track, where it causes a lap deletion, I believe. But he is going now purple as he's off. He's run wide. He went 3 purple mini sectors and has just unfortunately thrown away the lap. Huge saddening for him. That could have been a front row there in round 1. But I think the pole is going to go the way, not of the pole, but of the Dutch driver here. Aspect is, I think, the man who's going to be dominating the entire season, which would be something to behold, but who knows? It could be anyone's game. Anyone could make a mistake. You know, we could have pit strategies coming into play eventually, because we know for a fact these cars can't LICO lifting coast till the end of the race. So it would be something amazing if they can pull off some amazing. Some people have been throwing around the word 2-stop strategy, which could be something wonderful. You know, pit every sort of like 10 laps. You know. Pit lap 11, lap 22, make it to lap 33, you're good. You know, 11 laps per stint, you can go flat out on each one of them. But you only get 3 uses of push to pass. So whether you use them or not, where you use them, that is the question. Because you could use them on the Duffer's Dip here. I've probably got that completely wrong, but you could probably use it down this straight and get a huge advantage on those who choose to save it and use it later in the event. Because we could see those saving 3, so they could use it all in the last sort of 10 laps. You can't use them all at once, you can't use them all consecutively, but you need to sort of wait about a lap before you can use it again. So you could use it on the race start after turn 1, run out, and then someone else could use it and blow past the field into the lead. So who knows? As we see the current pole sitter spin through Sterling and hitting the barrier. I think that may have been slightly strategic on his behalf. Anyway, Chicken has just started a push lap. He is in the cleanest of air out of everyone. So he could gain an advantage here. Almost 5 minutes to go of this qualifying session. So we go into the main straight. I call it the main straight. It's the longest straight on the circuit, which I believe can give you a huge advantage if you use push to pass through it. And then again into the fast, difficult right-hand corner. It's amazing. This track has been fit into such a beautiful place. It makes all the cars look so elegant in photo mode, as we see Chicken here really rigorously trying to get this final sector right. I don't believe it will be an improvement, but I do believe he will try and at least to make it work out for him, work out for a benefit to make him, you know. He's just a bit wide on the final corner. Do not want to do that very often, because it can throw the lap away. No improvements there as we enter 4 minutes to go. Bartek, unfortunately, currently the slowest man on track, as all the lap times are now 6 All the lap times have gained a second as Bartek loses it big time out of Druids. He's in the barrier. Chicken is going to just come past him. Thankfully, Bartek doesn't rejoin into him. But we missed it. Their Aspect has just gone a second faster than the rest of the field. So, Aspect takes a dominant pole position here. This early on into the season, this could spell disaster for the rest of the championship. We could get some more drivers joining, which would be amazing for the next round of the season. You know, round 2, we're in a race in Japan on a relatively unique circuit design. It's like a more lengthwise Brands Hatch. There'll be less laps. It's a longer average lap time, I do believe. So there's a lot more elevation than here, surprisingly. I'd say it's actually equal elevation, but who cares? I'm just a delusional commentator sat alone at home watching sim cars go around a simulated track. And you're just the viewer watching this. Your time that you're wasting, I'm enjoying my time. Anyway, we see Bartek here rounding the final corner. I don't believe there'll be an improvement after that small little spin he had. But I do believe that I was about to say Gaggles is on something. And what he's now on is the barrier. We tabbed to that just at the worst point in time for him. He's absolutely thrown away a pretty decent lap time that could have seen him improve. That is a bit unfortunate for him. But he will get at least 2 laps, I'd assume. In other news, Aspect is pushing that final sector. Does he improve? Not yet. We're going to watch this push lap from him into the turn 1 on the track. I think, exceeds track limits here. If he does, then there's a wasted lap, but I don't think he'll mind too much. He's currently on a comfortable front row. You know, the nearest driver away from him is 3 seconds off the front row. I mean, the other nearest driver is 1.1 seconds off, so I'm pretty sure his pole position here is solidified. I'm pretty sure he could have, you know, sat in the pit lane when that 118 came out of the box, so who knows? He could just be here to try and flex on the field. Not the best of the first sector, but, you know, he's going to try and improve. He's going to try and make that even better. That was pretty decent there going into Duffer Bell, this lovely section. Is he going to make the same mistake we saw him make a few laps ago through the tricky right-hander? Just manages to keep it within bounds, I feel. As we enter a minute to go, so when he crosses the line, I feel it will be his last lap of the session, and those behind him, those in the pit lane, as Bartek improves ahead of Hayden Lowe. Bartek makes it happen when it needs to count and improves to a 122, I believe that would be, if not just a very high 123, very low 123, high 122. It's brilliant to see that from the pole. He manages just to improve when he needs it. Gaggles has started his final push lap. Bartek, I believe, would be the first man to take the flag. If not, it would be the man you're currently watching. A Mr. Aspect. And he's off! Aspect runs slightly off, grazes the barrier and continues going. So he's definitely not on another push lap. We're going to watch Bartek till the end of the session. He has gone personal best improvement, I feel, in the middle sector. So we could see him try again to improve. He keeps it within track limits. That's all important through that corner. That's where you want to be. Can Bartek make another improvement on the last lap? Unfortunately, no. So I feel that's Bartek's lap done. And we see Aspect, Titan Shadow moving out of the way. It is Aspect moving out of the way for Gaggles, who's on his push lap. Gaggles will be the first man to take the flag. Hopefully he doesn't make a mistake. Titan Shadow has pitted. Bartek, could you teleport to pit, please? You're not on a lap. Same with you, Aspect. We're going to watch Gaggles come to the line. And hopefully he can improve. Can he do it is the question. Across the line, here is an improvement, but it doesn't improve his overall position. So, Gaggles, please teleport to the pit lane so we can end the session. Thank you very much. and awaits 33 laps of the British E-Prix circuit. Oh, apparently you can't use push to pass in quali. Anyway, we're just waiting for the final checks to be done on all the vehicles. And then we'll get all the cars to the grid. And I'm going to need to quickly spawn in and back to the pits. Nope, I can't quite do that yet, so we're going to need to wait a bit of time. So we may just, unfortunately... We'll try not to miss the start. We will be watching Gaggles for this start because I feel the man in P2 can have quite a decent chance into turn 1. There's 30 seconds, or I should say 20 seconds, before the start lights come on here at Brands Hatch. All the drivers wishing each other good luck before we go green for round 1, season 1 of Untitled Formula E League. Yes, that's the official name. We're that insane. We don't have a full name. Yeah. Anyway, the lights come on for the first lap, for the first race of, I hope, many this season. It's go. Almost go, as I believe someone has jump started, so they'll be forced into the pit lane. But it's go, and it does happen immediately. Gaggles takes the lead into turn 1. Sorry, Chicken takes the lead into turn 1. Gaggles in P3 there, just trying to hold on. He's defending there from Bartek, but he gets tapped. I believe it's Bartek. It could be Hayden Lowe that he is trying to defend from. So there comes Titan Shadow out the pit lane. Bartek, it was in fact Hayden Lowe that Gaggles was trying to defend from. And he is slowing. Gaggles has slowed right down. Not quite sure what the issue is, but Chicken leads the way in the opening lap of the British E-Prix here at Brands Hatch. Several other drivers have backed off the pace. Titan Shadow has been caught out by that false start. That penalty serving him dividend that may have cost him until we get a form of intervention, whether or not it be by the FIA or one of the drivers causing a huge shunt and having to retire. Who knows, but it is currently Chicken versus Aspect. Aspect is pushing to get into the lead of the race. I'm sure they're both going to use push to pass here. Whoever activated it first will get the disadvantage of that. So let's hope that Chicken has activated it later to try and keep ahead. And Chicken loses it to turn 1. Chicken, under the pressure, has spun into Paddock Hill Bend. Absolute drama at the end of the opening lap. And he could be caught here by Bartek, who's made his way up into P2 as Aspect has also spun on turn 1. I believe that's Gagli as well. So everybody having issues on the opening lap of this race. This does help Titan Shadow get back up to the pack. Bartek is now running in 3rd place. And here we see Chicken trying to make the move on Aspect here. They're side by side going into the back straight of the circuit. Can Chicken go around the outside? I think he's just backed out for this corner because this is not really a corner you want to try and overtake around unless you're on the outside at the very, or on the inside even, is really when you want to be trying to overtake, but you want to try and save it until you can get to at least one of these corners coming around here, because if you can get a move into Sterling, then you're going to keep it really until Druids, and it might be happening here. Chicken is trying to force his way to go side by side with the pole sitter and the race leader. Don't forget, the pole sitter of the race currently has a 3-point advantage on the entire field, but Chicken is going to try and nullify that with around the outside of the final corner of the race. Chicken takes the lead back into lap 3, but Aspect is right there, and Aspect tries the dive bomb on the inside of Paddock Hill Bend, and he gets the move done. But can he hold it? Chicken loses it again! Chicken trying to just dummy his way to the inside. Loses it. Bartek inherits P2. Hayden Lowe, I think, will inherit P3 here as well. Chicken loses 2 places into turn 1. And my goodness, I need to take a breath. Because that is some of the best racing I've seen in a long, long while. Ay, ay, ay. What an opening 3 laps that was, or 2 laps that was. At the current moment, Aspect has taken a massive, massive lead on Bartek here. Real shame for Chicken this early on in the race. But he is catching here Hayden Lowe. So we could possibly see a battle forming here very soon. And in fact, the speed difference is obvious here. Chicken, I think, is just running on advantage here. Hayden Lowe lets him through. He knows that's not his fight here today. So Chicken is going to be trying to try and chase down Bartek here. So hopefully regain a P2, if not P1, as Hayden Lowe drifts through a very dangerous corner on the lap. Not really something you want to be doing very much, but he's made it stick. Props to the man for an attempt. He was running in the podium places. And the question is, can Bartek be caught by Chicken in relatively good pace? And will we see another mistake from Aspect as all hell broke loose on lap 2, where we saw that mayhem happen? As Hayden Lowe has pitted. He's coming into the pit lane. I'm not quite sure that's a scheduled pit stop. I think that may be to retire. I'm not too sure. It is to retire. A huge shame for Hayden Lowe. As we watch Gagley running wide. His teammate just up ahead, or pseudo teammate I should say, just running up ahead. Anyway, not really much to comment on here at the moment because it's all very clean, very smooth sailing. Apart from the fact Chicken is slowly closing in on Bartek, so we could see a possible fight happening here soon. In fact, can we see the differences? As we see our race leader Aspect coming into the pit lane. Aspect for a pit stop will mean Bartek inherits the lead of the race. Bartek leads the way onto lap 5. Chicken just behind him. It's going to be imperative he takes the lead of the race. He's at risk here from Gaggles passing him. It's going to be close on the exit. Can he get out without causing trouble to Gaggles here? I think he does. Gaggles gets into P3. Max Gaggles is his nickname. Mr. Gagley gets into P3. Now he can play the game for everyone else by holding up Aspect, who definitely is on a multiple stop strategy here. He tried to fool everyone in the server by saying it's a one stop, but that a pit laterally on, as I think he's just activated to push to pass. I don't think he'll get you to the end on one stop, because you definitely need to do a refuel at least twice here. But Gagley trying to get back at him. It's not going to work, and I believe we're having a fight form at the front. Yes, Chicken around the outside of Bartek as Bartek spins. Bartek loses it under the pressure of being overtaken. And unfortunately, he could be under clause here by the former pole sitter and race leader and current championship leader, Aspect. So, Aspect, after having one of the slower laps of everyone that lap because he pitted, will mean that he does have technically got the freshest tyres, as I assume he pitted while he got that recharge boost. You know, to change the tyres. Chicken as well has stayed out this lap, so he's not falling foul to this unique, to say the least, strategy option. I know for a fact Aspect has got a ton of practice in these cars at this track. Bartek defending from the pole sitter, but just locks up, gets it crossed up. Bartek does have the inside line. Could we see some drama happen here? Bartek trying to regain the place. Just gets switched back, unfortunately, and does, in fact, lose the position. He's trying to fight it. Go on, Bartek. Make this a valiant effort for the podium. You've got another fight coming up behind, my good sir. Don't dwell too much time on that. So Chicken in the lead by about 8 seconds here is what I'm being told on the computers. On average, he is a really fast driver. He could be up in the championship fight this season against Aspect here. As Bartek, we watch, just runs slightly wide. That will cost him a few tenths of a second. But we do see it here. Bartek trying to keep Gaggles behind him. Mr. Gagley. And I think he's going to do it. But Gagley on the exit has a much better time. Bartek's trying to defend. He is ahead into the next corner. Although it's a compromised line. Gagley on the inside. It's going to be the inside for Paddock Hill Bend. Can Bartek at all do anything about this? It's going to be close into turn 1. And Bartek just keeps ahead. Nice bit of defensive driving there from the pole against the Brit. We're going into Druids. Bartek trying to cover the line as much as he can. They've both got compromised entries. And I think Bartek will just hold off into the Grand Prix loop. He might lose it here, though, because he's taken a very compromised line. And Gagley is there. Bartek not giving an inch. The man who's very well known for a good start. Bartek spins. Almost collects Mr. Gagley. It was a very valiant effort by the pole as he appears to drive through the barrier. Bartek will get his way back out on track, I hope, in the coming corners. But we do see it here. Aspect is pushing his higher electrical fuel load on our race leader. Aspect on a completely different strategy from the rest of the field at the moment. No idea how this could pay off for him in the long run. But we will see. We will see how this pays off. As I believe Aspect is going to go for a personal best lap here. As we move on almost to a third race distance. That will be coming on soon. Here we watch Bartek just at the front end of the field. Gagley does get back ahead. There's 10 seconds between second and third at the moment. But we do see here, Chicken, in the back of your shots, you can just see Aspect coming through. Aspect is slowly pushing his way through onto the leader. This could be a very close fight because we know both of these drivers won't really want to give an inch to each other. Could end in a crash or a spin or worse, both of them flying off the track and those behind gaining on that 10-second, or so I should really say 8-second gap roughly that they have. So it could all go wrong, but it could go so well if this fight can last and nothing bad goes wrong. But who knows? If they both go off, then it would be a virtual safety car, but we've not had 2 cars properly go off yet this race, so I believe Aspect will be pushing. He might be out of push to passes here as he dives to the inside of Paddock Hill Bend. Chicken takes a wide line, a defensive line, but loses the inside line into Druids. I'd be smart and let him have the position through Druids and try and get the switch back. Chicken trying a different line to get a switchback, which he almost does, but mounts the curb and loses traction on the rear. He's not left this behind though, but it appears that Aspect has ran out of push to pass on this attempt here. You only get three push to pass enables, and I do believe that he's just ran out of it because there's a definite drop in speed from him. As we go into the fastest part of the track, you can't really overtake here unless you stick a nose down the inside very early on in the straight. I know from the practice sessions we've done, as he takes a very defensive line, does Aspect, trying to force the car behind into a mistake. Chicken hangs it round the outside. This is a hell of a rodeo we've got here today. Chicken, can he do it? He's trying around the outside. He's going to have the inside line into Sterling, and he pulls off quite possibly an amazing maneuver that I've yet to see someone try and pull this entire practice set. But Aspect's going to try round the outside. Chicken has to take the defensive line. He runs wide. This is a lap-long fight that's going to continue. I hope for another lap. Aspect gets back into the lead. Can Chicken do anything? The dive bomb could have been paid back there by Chicken. He doesn't. I think he's going to try and make the move into Druids. Anyone would. It's the defensive line again for Aspect, but Aspect runs wide. He doesn't take the optimal line through the corner, and that's going to help Chicken try and get ahead. But he just stays behind. I think he knows. Aspect knows the pressure is on from Chicken, who's trying to shove a nose down the inside, is shoving a nose down the inside. He gets the move. Can he hold it, though, because he's in a prime position? He runs the rear. He's wide. He just loses out after a stupendous fight. I believe it's going to continue for these guys. I don't want to towel away from this fight because this is absolutely monumental. The two of the fastest drivers in this league, as we see Aspect making a mistake, losing a ton of time. Chicken is going to go through, retaking the position. Maybe that was something from Aspect there, saying it was a bit dirty on my side. I'm sorry for that. Gives back the place. If so, it just means a more brilliant fighting for us, the viewers. And of course, this does help people like Gagly, Bartek, and Titan gain on the pack here today in the inaugural British Grand Prix. Or I should say E-Prix, but he's in. Chicken comes into the pit lane. This fight has ended. Gagly will surely pick up P2 here as he comes around the final corner to take that P2. Chicken, I believe, is doing the lap 11, lap 22, finish on 33 strategy. Although he could have a lot of energy left, so it could be even later than lap 22. I have no idea what the fuels are on. If I could tell you, in fact, I think we can tell you what the fuels are on. So for those drivers who are watching the stream, we can see it here. It doesn't tell us exactly because annoyingly it's our car. I thought it would tell us the car because it tells us how fast they're going on track. Oh well, but Bartek has also darted for the pit lane on this lap of racing here. So he chooses this lap to be the lap where he takes on, I assume, a full, in air quotes, tank of power for the rest of the race. It does work out to be a very half-decent strategy for those of you who aren't exactly in the main fight of the race. So it is what it may be. The race has finally come into its quiet place. Unfortunately, I do believe that the win has already gone the way of Aspect, unless something absolutely monumentous happens, as Aspect indeed does come back into the pit lane. So maybe that was an early pit stop in hopes of a mid-race safety car that's not happened. So maybe he's coming back in to try and gain another advantage from being out ahead to come into the pit lane. He's missed his pit box. He had to reverse back to get in his pit place. And he finally gets released. Gagly comes into the pit lane, so he's not going to inherit the lead. Chicken will. That mistake in the pit box has cost dividendly. The former race leader and the pole sitter, Bartek, could be in a very nice place here in a moment or two. In fact, Bartek spun. Titan Shadow comes through just in fourth. He's able to join up to the pack. But I have a feeling we're going to get a repeat of the valiant fight we saw a mere few laps ago. The fight that ended on lap 11 is going to restart on lap 12, if not lap 13. I assume it will be lap 13 due to the current spatial positioning of all the drivers. There will also be a fight for the podium places here, so there's that. And at the moment, Bartek would pick up a haul of 10 points, so the field would be quite close after the first race. If Aspect were to win, it would be 23 points to then Chicken on 17, but if Chicken were to win, the top two would be tied in the championship. Then it would go to whoever has the fastest lap, but we're not going to get into that yet. Here is the fight forming. Chicken versus Aspect, Aspect versus Chicken. The pole sitter versus the rookie. I'm going to call him because Chicken is really not that confident in these cars. He's I believe, the least confident of all the drivers currently on the grid. So we'll see. Can he be able to maybe play another brilliant defense job on the pole sitter, the man with possibly the most car to track hours of all in the league at the moment? It is the question. They're just slowly working their way together. Lap 13 now. We're over a third race distance, if I can get my words out properly. We are over a third race distance now, so hopefully the first 11 will be as entertaining as the next 11. As we see Titan Shadow pitting, as we see Aspect running wide. Bartek will, I believe, be engaged now in a fight with Titan Shadow. Yes, they are. We're going to tab to this quickly. Bartek's going to try down the inside of Druids. Just gets the position, and I believe this fight could be very short-lived for now. Gagley in a battle of his own on track. Oh, as we watch him spin there. But we now see here, I believe that's Aspect back in push to pass. It's a mirror image repeat of the overtake we saw earlier. They touch. He backs off. Aspect backs out, tries a diving down the inside of the Druids. Can Chicken get the better line? No, he can't. He might try on something onto the next corner here. If that was me, I would have tried to nose down the inside to try and spook them. As you can tell, I'm really getting my words all wobbly today. Bartek keeps ahead of that Titan Bartek fight for now. But there is nothing in it like this fight here. If I had two screens, this would be absolutely amazing. Here we go. Chicken applying pressure onto the pole sitter here. You can't really stick a move here, as we've discussed before. But Chicken is going to try a move here. He's got the inside line. He's squeezed 2 wheels off the track. Aspect is forced wide. It's not the optimum line through there. He just keeps ahead, but he can't keep that car behind forever. Bartek stays ahead of Titan Shadow for now, but I believe Titan Shadow has got him back as an almost switch back has happened there on the screen. In fact, I believe Bartek and Titan Shadow have had a moment together there that they are just as close as the race leaders are together. So I'm sure we'll be keeping tabs on that fight as the fight for the race leaders is dwindling. Titan Shadow trying a move on Bartek. Bartek defending for all his life here. He knows that these points are pivotal for the long game championship. If he can show up to every race and finish an average of P5 or higher, that will be at least 50 points in his first season. And assuming the race leader, the championship leader without pole positions and stuff, as Titan Shadow barges his way through on the inside. Hayden Lowe has returned, but I think that was issues with him. So he's going to unfortunately be quite a long way to the back of the grid. Unfortunately, but all fair practice for him. As this battle has now dissolved, we're going to go back to the battle for the lead, and Chicken has already overtaken the race leader, who's now going to try a move on the inside. Doesn't do it. He attempted to try and overtake on the inside. He tried the move on the inside, didn't work. Aspect is trying his best to get ahead of Chicken here. And in fact, he tries to line up a move on the inside. He is on the inside. It's going to be possibly through Paddock Hill Bend. There could be some lapped cars. I believe Bartek had a spin there. He's dropped off the back of Titan. And he is through into Paddock Hill Bend. A crucial move in this E-Prix. The defense job for the both of them is amazing. We're already on lap 16. This is a several lap long fight that's been going on here. I'm pretty sure these two at the end of the race will be shaking hands with each other quite rigorously with the amount of fighting they're doing. Oh my, this is absolutely amazing to watch as the viewer here. I am loving this battle on track, and he's made a mistake. Aspect made a mistake through the corner onto the long straight at the back of the circuit, but it could have been to push to pass because he's now gained a ton of time. So it could be the advantage. Chicken has the inside line. Is it going to pay off for him? No, it's not going to run wide. It's going to be the inside line now for Aspect, who gets the move done. He's now pushed slightly wide because Chicken retakes the inside line through the next corner. He chooses to back out, I think out of safety of the both of them, and I think they may have just tagged. I'm not quite sure what we've just witnessed, but I'm pretty sure they came together, and I think they're trying to get away from some back markers up ahead. So there's a fight of the back markers up ahead into turn 1. And Chicken is side by side with your race leader here. Bartek's back up into P4. But it's not going to be a full move yet. They touch definitely there. I saw a few sparks fly up. I think that was rear tire to front wing. Chicken really playing the cautious game here. He's following the line perfectly. There was the small mistake there from our race leader Aspect. He is really trying not to get involved in the back marker fight here. Bartek versus Titan Shadow. Those two drivers are up ahead, I think, by a few seconds. It's dwindling. Yeah, they're on the straight as these two enter the straight, so there could be backmarker fights coming into this as well, where one of the backmarkers could majorly benefit from the blue flags. That would be a sight to see. And Chicken tries around the outside of that corner there. Very risky maneuver. Can't get it fully paid off, but he's still on the outside. He's get forced wide by our race leader Aspect. I think that was just cautious enough. He's tried again on the inside. Valiant battle these two are having here, and it could very well be affected by the back marker cars up ahead. Chicken Aspect pulls out the way to try and get Chicken out of the line, and it does work. Chicken has ran slightly wide. Maybe these back markers have come at a perfect time to help the race leader clear a space. That battle has been very long-lived, but we've got another long-lived battle here as we see Titan Shadow looking up the inside front through Druids. The top two leading the race, and these two are the same space apart. Bartek trying to keep Titan Shadow behind. As we see in the background there, the teammate of Titan Shadow trying to keep Chicken behind. So there is a hell of a lot of battling going on this track. I think Gaggles has solidified himself as the third place driver this season. And I believe Bartek is going to try and defend, and they touch! There has been a crash. Bartek's round. Yellow flags out in this sector. He's right on the racing line. Blue flags, Bartek. Let the faster cars through, please. Thank you very much. Let the faster car through, Bartek. Thank you, thank you. Love you, Bartek. That was an amazing job. Thank you. We love him. He's just ever so slightly behind on a few things, so he does need a bit more nurturing. It's fine. A lot of the drivers are here are like that. But anyway, the fight, unfortunately for P4, has come to a brief end after Bartek made contact, or Bartek and Titan Shadow collided with each other. There is Aspect has understeered off. That could be crucial. I believe Chicken did the same thing there, but Chicken is going to try and push his way through. So Bartek is going to gain some time. He will be blue flagged again pretty soon. Chicken goes around the outside as Bartek puts a wheel in the gravel up ahead. So that could have made a slight annoyance for the race leaders. They're still fighting this. Aspect looks up the front. Chicken tries for the curb again. It loses him more time than it gains, unfortunately. And he really can't get past that wide Jaguar. Oh my goodness me, what a fight this is turning out to be, especially with the back markers. Gagley, 27 seconds back. Bartek, as they came across the line, was officially lapped, unfortunately, but they're going to try side by side. Oh my days. Titan Shadow, again, further along the road from these guys. Bartek, blue flags. Thank you. Oh, Chicken gets forced out wide by Bartek. Wrong place at the wrong time for Chicken. Bartek spun. We see him there in the barriers. And unfortunately, Titan Shadow is going to be blue flagged very soon by his teammate. Pseudo teammate, I should say. We don't have official teams. But by the end of this race, I'm sure it'll be one heck of a day for everyone here. As Chicken has now gained a huge amount of time on the race leader. I don't know if this is deliberate or not to cause brilliant fights. If it is, then it's working. If it's not, then I think it's power play coming into it. Aspect trying to lose a ton while fighting and then gain it. We're not fighting his mate. He's understeered off there. He's had a huge snap mid-corner. He's temporarily lost the place. He's got the inside line. He's easily going to take this back. Or is he going to force Chicken fully off the track, himself going wide? That isn't in the rules. That, I'm pretty sure, is against the rules of standardized racing procedure. So they're definitely getting really argy-bargy here today. They're not giving an inch anymore. Lap 20 of 33. We're well over half race distance now. So lap 17 was roughly the half race distance. So we're now well over that. We're almost at the third way mark. Chicken dives down the inside. Aspect's going to get the way better line on the exit. He's going to try and get that move done. And in fact does get that move done into the next corner. Chicken carries a lot more speed though. On the outside he goes. He's not going to be able to get through on that place. But he does. He gets forced off. He gets forced off the track in that attempt there. Titan Shadow will be unfortunately lapped very soon. It's a very, very good fight going on so far. These two not giving an inch to each other. They don't want to, as I believe Bartek is being caught by Gaggles now, so he'll be blue flagged eventually. But we see an absolutely amazing battle going on here at the circuit of Brands Hatch, which could soon be hosting Formula E in real life, says a few sources linked to Formula E. But we do see Chicken here trying moves on the outside of the corner, not going to pay off. I think just got squeezed out to dry there a bit, which would have been a huge attempt at an overtake. Titan, you're going to get your blue flags very soon. Be careful. Titan, blue flags. Thank you, thank you. You got the other one coming. Thank you for keeping out the way, mate. Amazing job for everyone who's been blue flagged so far. Bartek, same with you. Blue flags. Let Gagley through. As Titan pits. Not Titan. Aspect pits. And I believe Chicken is also pitted. The two race leaders are playing the pit game here. Whoever takes on the more energy should be able to make it cleanly to the end. And if they change tyres, it could pay dividend to them. Now it's whoever's taken on more tyres, more fuel or whatever. I think Aspect is... Oh, Aspect had a slower go. Chicken makes it through, almost. He got forced. They're going to try side by side out the pit lane. And Gagley is now on the back of this fight. Bartek as well, the man in fifth, being lapped, is in a prime position to watch this. Chicken into Druids, has the inside line. And he's going to try and force... Oh, they touch! Chicken loses the rear through Druids. And Gagley takes the position into P2. My oh my, that did not go well for the man who's been trying so valiantly to defend his position of P2 this race. Gagley has to pit, unfortunately, as Aspect has just lost the rear, and Gagley could take the lead of the race. He does! We make it a third race winner. I think even a fourth race winner there, because I think Bartek briefly got into the lead at the start of the race. This could be the fight of centurions, because as we know, Gagley is an esteemed history in Formula 1 games. If you've been a long time viewer of my channel, you will know back to the ALR days where he took several wins, including one at Monaco, where the cars are a lot bigger than they are here. So hopefully this effort can help these guys keep a very nice fight with each other. Here we see Chicken trying round the outside into the second to last corner. He makes it stick. He's got the inside line too. Is he going to be hung up to dry? Yes, he is. Gaggles takes to the pit lane. I think it's best. And they bang wheels very heavily, the top two. That was a bit more than a love tap. That was a get out my way sort of maneuver there. My goodness. We are now 2 quarters of the way done. 2/3 of the way done even of this race. Less, I believe it's 11 to go now, so these guys need to be very careful, because any mistake they make could cost them the entire event, which would be a huge shame here today. Bartek gets out just ahead of Gagli, and unfortunately it's going to be blue flags as we watch Aspect making the same mistake as he did last lap, but this time much worse as he actually takes through the grass. Chicken retakes the lead. After this race, I'm going to need to count how many times we've had a lead change because this is absolutely monumental stuff. My oh my. What a race we've had so far. What a day this has been so far. Excuse me. Aspect, I believe, is going full ham push to try and get to the race leader. I would be surprised if he has a push to pass left now. I believe Chicken may have one left. You know, if the game would tell me with the telemetry scale, if they had a push to pass left, which it doesn't, obviously. As we see Aspect coming in again. So has he flat spotted the tyres? Has he made a mistake this lap? He could have made a huge mistake last time round in the pit lane. This will help Gagli. So we could see the pole sitter off the top two. I believe he may have got a penalty that lap, which is why that happened. He could have got a stop go for exceeding track limits. Which, if that has happened, that is monumental. That is a massive thing to happen in this race. The pole sitter getting a penalty is what I'm going to assume has just happened there, because that was way too slow for a standardized pit stop. But yeah. Chicken leads the way, currently by 15 seconds. I expect that gap to drop as we enter 10 to go now. This is an amazing start to a season. Even if the last 10 or so laps end up being nothing much, it is still absolutely amazing to witness this so far. Chicken isn't a million miles away. He could dart through the pit lane, do a, a drive-through if he so chooses, or if he does eventually get one. So we've got a yellow flag and Bartek's in the pit lane. I'm not too sure. Could be a permanent yellow though. Here we have Chicken in the first sector now as we see Titan Shadow is entering the blue flag zone for the man in the lead of the race. Bartek still in the pit lane. I'm not too sure why this is. He could be taking a hell of a lot till the end of the race. He could have accidentally done 100% when it's more like 40 or 50%. As he finally goes now, I believe he accidentally is over energized till the end of the race. Titan Shadow is entering that blue flag zone very soon. Not immediately, but it will be happening, I assume, within this lap. So we just wait to see what can happen with the former race leader and the pole sitter of the race, don't you forget. The man who's earning an extra 3 points will be making an attempt at trying to get back in the lead as Titan Shadow pulls off the track very much to let his teammate through, or again, pseudo teammate. Then again, there's less than a sector between the two, and Aspect is now going full push. And I mean full push. You can see the mini sector starting to show up purple now, so this is amazing stuff to see this early on into the season. They're really trying to bring this in. Here's the Aspect. Nothing really much to comment about. Everyone is just Titan Shadow blue flags, please, is like the only thing I will say. But in fact, I think Gagli has just had a moment there, a small one. Yeah, I believe it was a small moment. Chicken currently miles in the lead, so could that possible penalty be an issue for the pole sitter? Could it lead to a possible no win finish, which could bring the championship within a point going into round 2, which would be something absolutely brilliant. That gap is slowly dropping, but I believe it would be a last lap attack if it was to be. And we wait, and we wait. The gap slowly dropping between the top two. I believe it would be a last lap thing to happen if it were to happen. If Chicken makes a huge mistake like a spin like we've seen before, or loses the rear and fumbles the barrier or whatnot. Or Aspect does the same thing and loses it to Gaggles, and those two would fight. But who knows at the moment in time. Yeah, that gap is very surely dropping. I think this would be a last lap attack. I can hear the telltale signs of an electric car winding up ahead, I believe. We saw a small mistake from Chicken there, I believe, but I believe that is Bartek ahead of Chicken here. Bartek could hold up, make it very nice for Aspect to gain on him here. It could be the ultimate gift. Aspect did initiate the chance of making the league happen. So it could be Bartek's way of, making up to him, I guess. I don't know. Don't know how it would work, but, it is what it is. But Aspect is definitely pushing here, so any mistake that Chicken makes or Bartek makes that hinders Chicken can really come into effect. Oh my goodness, it is happening. Those mini sectors are dropping greatly. The final sector really is the place to do it, because there are really small mini sectors really close together. 5 to go of the race. Five to go. You can just see Aspect through the trees on the other side of Druids for a brief second. Bartek is going to be blue flagged soon. Not yet, but soon. .8 the current gap. I assume that will be going down this lap, because that is a lot of pushing going on there. And I believe Bartek has just had an inversion. Yes, he has! Bartek blue flagging himself perfectly with an inversion into the barriers. This could be a hindrance to the man chasing our race leader here. Aspect here. Blue flags Bartek. Blue flags Bartek. He does it in the best place possible. Unfortunately, fortunately, I should say, he keeps it on the track. The gap between the two is now 6.5. It is closing, but I don't think it's closing enough. I think Chicken has possibly secured the win of the first race of the season, which would be something. This gap will, I think, has closed even more now. Well, we'll only see. We have tried to get these races to be close enough to 45 minutes, and I believe
it would just put us about the 45-minute mark, so the timing is impeccable. It was initially a guess as well, so can't fault a man for making an attempt. Definitely, though, Aspect has pushed a ton this lap. I think he saved the push for past to now. The urge for me would have been to get it out the way ages ago. But he definitely have saved this for now, because it's clear that that is no longer a 6.5 gap. It's a 4.3. He is 2 seconds a lap, 3 to go. I think it would be a last lap attack if he gains around 2 seconds a lap. If anything, it could even happen at the end of this lap, so we could have a 2-lap shootout between the top two to see who claims the first untitled Formula E League win, which would be a hell of a title to hold in this league. And I mean, it would be a hell of a title. Also, for some reason, it's linked the game as EA WRC. I don't know why it's done that. Untitled Formula E League at Brands Hatch Rally Circuit. And that gap has closed again because we can hear off screen Chicken's car sounds a lot louder than it did before. Can the defendee become the defender? The man who's been defended from so many times by the man you're seeing here, can he defend for the last 2 laps of the race? If I'm correct, yeah, 2.7. That gap is dropping by a rough 2 seconds a lap. By next lap, he will be right on him. And by goodness, it will be something to behold. A final lap, definitely final lap duo battle going on. Titan, blue flags. Titan, blue flags. Let Gagley through. He's definitely got him here. It's going to be close going through into the last lap of the race. He really does need to defend this like hell does Chicken. He knows he wants it. He's probably doing Lyco so he can use it all full push for this lap. Any mistake from these two and it's all over. As Aspect took definitely a lot more curb there, as we've got the final lap approaching us. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be the Dutchman or the Brit? Chicken versus Aspect. They have just over 3 kilometers to go on the circuit here. Who will it be? Aspect does the first lunge, dives to the inside for turn 1, has the position given, and I think Chicken is going to try and attack very, very, very shortly. Because if he doesn't, that's a great shame on his behalf. I think he may have slowed down a bit. Aspect runs slightly wide there. That will not help his advantage on the tracks slightly, but I believe he has pushed just enough to get away with the win here. It's been a valiant effort from Chicken, but unfortunately on that last lap, the dive bomb was too much. Aspect slows slightly over the hill. I think that may be because he had a slight spin on the rear, but Chicken versus Aspect has definitely been the talking point of today. I think Chicken has gone into, is trying to conserve energy till the end of the lap to at least have some to finish on here. Although it could be, I think it will be. Aspect has done just enough. I think that pull through the pit lane was a penalty. He will tell us at the end of the race during the interviews, I'm sure. But he has done enough to take the maiden win, his maiden win here. The first ever probable win of Formula E at Brands Hatch, which I'm sure is an amazing record to hold. And the first ever win of Untitled Formula E League. The Flying Dutchman of Aspect takes the victory. Coming along the line, I hope, in P2 will be Aspect. We see him there. He's going to take the flag in second place. Next will be Bartek. He is lapped. He will be confirmed to be finishing last. Even so, the man who had a half-decent race today is going to come across to unfortunately finish a lowly P5. But it is still 10 points. Gagley will also come across the line in P3, followed by Titan Shadow. Gagley 33 seconds off. They're doing a victory parade, Chicken and Aspect. And there you go. Titan crosses the line. I think Gagley has already run out of fuel or power. And we shall quickly teleport to the pit lane and we shall see who got the fastest lap of the race. It was Aspect who got the fastest lap. My oh my. As we see Chicken clobber the barriers. Amazing, amazing race to start the season. Absolutely amazing stuff. That will be it here from Brands Hatch for the first race of the season. That has been, I think, arguably one of the best ever first races we've ever had for a league, or I've ever had for a league. Amazing stuff here from Brands Hatch. You've been